حضارتنا التي فاقت وأبهرت البشر، من عالم متبحر ومفكر ومن ابتكر تلك المفاخر إنها سير ستلهمك العبر، عظماء ما أحلى الأثر، عظماء ما أحلى الأثر، سير ستلهمك العبر، عظماء ما أحلى الأثر، تاريخنا فخر لنا فانثر لنا تلك الدرر، تاريخنا فخر لنا.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ودخل معه السجن فتيان، قال أحدهما إني أراني أعصر خمرا، وقال الآخر إني أراني أحمل فوق رأسي خبزا تأكل الطير منه، نبئنا بتأويله إنا نراك من المحسنين. قال لا يأتيكما طعام ترزقانه إلا نبأتكما بتأويله قبل أن يأتيكما، ذلكما مما علمني ربي، إني تركت ملة قوم لا يؤمنون بالله وهم بالآخرة هم كافرون، واتبعت ملة آبائي إبراهيم وإسحاق ويعقوب، ما كان لنا أن نشرك بالله من شيء، ذلك من فضل الله علينا وعلى الناس ولكن أكثر الناس لا يشكرون. يا صاحبي السجن أأرباب متفرقون خير أم الله الواحد القهار، ما تعبدون من دونه إلا أسماء سميتموها أنتم وآباؤكم ما أنزل الله بها من سلطان، إن الحكم إلا لله أمر ألا تعبدوا إلا إياه، ذلك الدين القيم ولكن أكثر الناس لا يعلمون. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وصل اللهم وسلم وبارك على نبينا وحبيبنا وقرة أعيننا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. This short talk is going to be about da'wah, about spreading and modeling the message of Islam and how each of us can play our roles in that. I'm going to tell you 3 stories to start with this. The first story takes place in Kedah, in Malaysia. The second story takes place in Manchester. And the third story takes place in Egypt. All 3 stories have one common theme. I'm going to let you figure it out. 2 years ago in Manchester, in the United Kingdom, I was sat in a taxi, in an Uber. This taxi driver was taking me to a destination for some work. And on the way, I'm not wearing Sheikh's clothing, so there's no hat. He's wearing a jeans and a t-shirt. I'm sitting in the car. And he starts to ask me questions about religion. He starts to say, you know, are you very religious? Where do you think the world came from? And I start to have a discussion with him. We're driving, and he's having conversation. And as we're having conversation, I realize he's trying to invite me to Islam. I said, okay, I can play this game, it's okay. So he goes, what's the purpose in life? I'm like, you know what, tell me, what do you think? So as we're talking, he's trying to sell me the idea that there's a purpose in this life, that ultimately there's an afterlife, that God created the heavens and the earth. We stop the car, reach the destination. I get out of the car. He says, come here, let me show you something. Takes me to the back of the car. He opens the boot. He's got 2 boxes of Quran translations. Takes one out, he hands one to me. And he says, may God guide you to the truth. I said, both of us, brother. And I just walked away. In Kedah, in the 12th century, Yemeni traders from Hadramaut arrived on the shores, traveling with their spices, with their clothing, with rare gems, with gold and with silver. They arrived on the shores and they began to settle, marry into the locals, buy and sell, pray salah on time. These were not preachers. These were traders, skillful but ethical business people who did trade with excellence, with beauty in their character. They arrived in a land that was majority Hindu-Buddhist. In the city of Kedah itself, there were 50 animist temples. 50 temples. Not very different to the Kaaba, which had 365 idols. There were probably more idols in Kedah at the time. But these traders didn't come to destroy the idols. They came to trade and befriend the people. 10, 20, 30, 40 years of just befriending the people, of doing business with the people, of showing them, you want 2 pieces of clothing? Take 4. You don't like the price? Take it for free. You know what? That product is faulty. I'll slice the price in half for you. The people of Kedah were shocked. What sihr? What magic is this? Usually when we go to the market, the traders are trying to dupe us. Why are these guys doing honest business with us? Over the course of 50 years, 100 years, 200 years, 300 years, the first Islamic kingdom in the history of Malaysia is built in the city of Kedah, where there was once 50 temples. It took 200 years of slow and gradual infusing of regular people in the regular life of Malays in Malaysia. The third story, in Egypt, thousands and thousands of years ago. There is a man who's been imprisoned in Egypt for a crime he did not commit. To you and me and to other prisoners, he looks like an average Joe. Nothing special about this guy. But many people don't know that this man is actually a prophet from Allah, the Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. In prison, there is something about Yusuf that is noticeable. It's not his hat. It's not his thobe. He doesn't have a prophet badge everywhere he goes. Hey guys, prophet, that's me. right here. Going to the canteen, the prison canteen. Brother, what's this? Can't you see my prophet badge? I need two helpings of nasi lemak. What is this? No, that wasn't the Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. He's in the most miserable dungeon, most horrible prison. This is before Human Rights Convention. Even that Human Rights Convention is mostly not applied in prisons anyway, but this man is suffering. And he's suffering with a smile on his face. Anybody needs help, he's the first one to help. This guy seems different. And people are observing this. Something about this young man is different. We've not seen this before. Prisoners are usually miserable. You go to a prison, what can you hear? Vomiting. Somebody banging their head on the wall. Dar, dar. Somebody remembering their lover that they've left behind. Somebody sobbing. Somebody stabbing someone else. That's all you hear in prison. And you just see this one person who seems strangely different. Two men approach him because they find out that not only is he exceptional in character, he has a skill and a service that he provides for everybody free of cost. A service that people actually need. What is that service? Who can tell me what's that service? Yes? Good. He serves them the interpretation of dreams. So two men come to him for this service. Are they coming to him to find out about Islam? No, they don't want to find out about Islam. This is the rule. You can take it from me free. Nobody wants to learn about Islam. People want services. Good quality services. They come to him for service. وَدَخَلَ مَعَهُ السِّجْنَ فَتَيَانِ. One of them says to him, قال أحدهما إني أراني أعصر خمرا. I'm not going to translate. وقال الآخر إني أراني أحمل فوق رأسي خبزا تأكل الطير منه. Who can tell me what are the two dreams? Yalla bismillah. Only two hands? Really? What did I do wrong? This is why I didn't want to speak after Sheikh Sajid. I knew this was going to happen to me. Sheikh Sajid, can I borrow shimagh? Sheikh Sajid's shimagh. Maybe they will speak to me. What are the two dreams? Let's see some more hands. Only the shabab. Yes, brother. One of them serves wine. And what was the other one? Who's eating the bread from his hat? From his head? Okay, the other one sees a dream where there's, you know what, say it again in the mic. Go for it, just for the theatric. Go on.
Yeah. The first dream was the bird eating bread for someone's head.
Yes.
The second one was a man serving wine.
Okay, beautiful. A man serving wine to whom?
I believe the king.
Okay, perfect. So he sees, they each come to him with two dreams. But at the end of telling him the two dreams, they make a comment about Yusuf. They say, Inna naraka min al-muhsinin. We see you somebody special, somebody beautiful in character. Now, does Yusuf begin to preach straight away? No preaching yet. What does Yusuf alayhi salam do next? Who can tell me? What does he do next? They've asked him for a service. What he should do, he should just give them the service, right? What does he do instead? Yes. No, before asking them what they want. Something you Malay people, you know very well. And you love. Makan. He says, you want me to give you dream interpretation? Good. First makan. Makan. First let us eat food. Let's order food. Sit. Hospitality. So the first, his character. You have to know these principles. He gives da'wah without speaking. Through his character. Number two, he has good quality services free of cost that non-Muslims can benefit from. Service. Number three, makan. Hospitality. He says, guys, don't worry about the dream interpretation. Let me give you food first. And while he's ordering food with them, he says, قال لا يأتيكما طعام ترزقانه إلا نبأتكما بتأويله قبل أن يأتيكما. He said, by the time the food comes, I will tell you the interpretation of your dreams. Fast service. When you go to a Muslim pharmacist, Muslim restaurant, Muslim typing house, they say, come tomorrow. Yeah? They say, you say, when is it? You're supposed to print my books today. They say, come next week. Yusuf alayhi salam is not like this. Yusuf alayhi salam is efficient. He said, when the food arrives, I'll already have done my service to you. But you know what? You know where I learned this skill from? Dream interpretation? ذَلِكُمَا مِمَّا عَلَّمَنِي رَبِّي. My Lord taught me this. Now they're thinking Lord means what? The king. Because remember, in Egypt at this time, every slave has a master. Yusuf alayhi salam was from the slave market. So when he says, my Lord taught me, they might be thinking, yeah, the king taught him this special craft. But he continues. إِنِّي تَرَكْتُ مِلَّةَ قَوْمٍ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ بِاللَّهِ. Do you know that I've come from a place, people don't believe in God. Crazy, right? وَهُمْ بِالْآخِرَةِ هُمْ كَافِرُونَ. And they don't believe in the afterlife. But since you guys asked me where I'm from, you know, my father, my grandfather, let me tell you my family story. وَاتَّبَعْتُ مِلَّةَ آبَائِي إِبْرَاهِيمَ وَإِسْحَاقَ. My father is Abraham, then Isaac. ما كان لنا أن نشرك بالله من شيء. Where I come from, it is absurd to say God has an equal. ذلك من فضل الله علينا وعلى الناس. That is God's bounty and gift to us. ولكن أكثر الناس لا يشعرون. But most people don't realize it. The food is here. Oh no, eat. I'll tell you what your dreams mean. How much time, how many words did he say to them? How long did he speak to them for about Allah and about where he came from and the afterlife? 1 minute? 2 minutes? How many other interactions did Yusuf have with them in prison to show them his character and his service and his hospitality and food and small talk and politeness and conversation? Hours and days and weeks and months and years to build his credibility, only to speak to them about Allah for 1 minute. For 1 minute he spoke to them about Allah. 3 stories. One in Manchester, one in Kedah, one in Egypt. These are 3 stories. This is the story of regular people, except Yusuf alayhi salam. Regular people who brought Islam from east to west. Taxi driver, restaurant owner, business person, trader, and lastly, someone sitting in a dungeon in a prison. If he could do it, we can do it, but we need to follow the same path. What are the principles of regular, everyday da'wah? The first rule of everyday da'wah, no preaching. Nobody likes to be preached. Imagine, I go to work and I stand on the table at work. I say, Innal hamdalillah. You know what they're going to do? They're going to call the police on me. We've got a radical Muslimist in the house. He seems to be calling for jihad. I'm like, no guys, no. I'm SWAT team will come, take me down on the table. Khalas, that's the end. No, that's not how we do it. People don't like to be preached at. People don't like to be talked at. They like to be spoken to. From Yusuf alayhi salam, and from the taxi driver, and from the Hadrami Yemeni traders, what do we learn about everyday da'wah that every single one of us can apply? You guys tell me. Bismillah. I gave you some hints already. I already gave it away. You guys tell me. Yes, young man. Are you scratching your head? Don't do this to me. Yalla, Bismillah. Okay, every Muslim is trying to spread Islam around the world, but how? From the story of Yusuf, tell me how. Okay, character and credibility. What's credibility? People need to trust you. And they need to be impressed by your character. This is number one. Does that come quickly? How long does it take to build trust with people? How long did it take for the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ to build trust with the people of Mecca? 40 years. Inshallah, you can do it in 40 days. Build trust, build credibility, number one. Number two, what's number two? So now everybody trusts you. They think you are amazing, exceptional character. What's next? They need a reason to talk to you, right? Why would somebody talk to you? Why would a non-Muslim talk to you? Why would a Muslim who's struggling, why would they speak to you? It starts with S. You need to provide the best services. I'll tell you guys a personal story. I know somebody, when their child was born, they messaged in a WhatsApp group, my child is born, this is not here, this is in a non-Muslim country. My child is born, I need to do the circumcision for the child, for the son. So the people in the group say, don't go to any Muslim doctor. Why? All of them are scammers. They will all rip you off and give you terrible service. Okay, where should I go then? They say, go to this Orthodox Jewish doctor here. Why? He offers the best service at a low cost and he'll look after you. This is a lethal surgery. It's life or death. Take him to the best doctor. So this person goes to the Jewish doctor. The Jewish doctor greets him at the door with a hat and beard, says, Shalom alaikum. Come into the surgery. The Muslim is confused. He says, sit down. He sits down. He says, look at this frame. This is my family. I have 11 kids. Inshallah, next year you come back to me with one more kid every year. He's thinking, this is a very strange conversation. He said, MashaAllah, your baby is very good. He's using his language, his terms, kind treatment, good quality service. What is this? The Muslim realized da'wah was being given to him because he had the best service in that locality. And the Muslim doctors had a bad reputation in that locality. Reputation, character, credibility first. Then number two, good services. Whether it's trade, whether it's dentistry, whether you're making roti canai on the side of the road, make good quality roti canai. Everybody should know about your roti canai. Whatever you do, offer the best services. Whether it's IT, whether it's engineering, whether it's hijab making, clothing, textile, it doesn't matter. Offer a pristine service. Credibility, character, service. What's next? Favorite word of the Malays? Makan. Hospitality. Who here has a non-Muslim that lives on the same road as them? Put your hand up. Same road. Okay, how many of you have invited them home for tea? Where is Makan? Makan only for Muslims? What is this, guys? Shame on all of us. Shame on us. We have a non-Muslim on the same road, at work, neighbor, colleague, someone else. But we walk past their house, we see them jogging, and we just do this. Why? It costs money to smile? Tea costs money? It doesn't cost that much money. But there is a barrier between us and them. We feel, keep them aside. We have our own close crew of Muslims. They come home for makan and for tea. That's great. But John from 2 roads away, I see him from a distance. I say, hi, John. See you, John. That's it. How is Islam going to spread, guys? With this mindset, bubble mindset. Yeah? We preach to Muslims. Is there any point preaching to the converted? Preach to those who are not converted. Invite them for tea. This is an action point for everybody. You all know a non-Muslim. Invite them for makan or for tea or give them a gift. Just be nice. Offer a service, offer hospitality. And in 1,000 minutes of interaction or 100 minutes of interaction, talk about Allah for 1 minute. That's the ratio. Because if you flip the ratio, if you invite them home, John sits down, Mary sits down, and you say, Inna alhamdulillah. حدثنا معمر بن المثنى قال حدثنا كريب قال حدثنا قتادة قال حدثنا عبد الله بن عباس برواية بصرية خالصة في صحيح. What's happening to John? John is snoring on the bed. Why you invited him to put him to sleep? No, John, what did you do on the weekend? How was your week? Make the art of small talk. Yusuf alayhi salam is a master of this. And in the small talk, you insert your da'wah like salt on French fries. Like sambal in nasi lemak. Is too much sambal good? I'm telling you. Too much sambal, next 3 days you will suffer. Just 2 spoons is enough. You give the da'wah to the ratio of sambal to rice. That's how you give da'wah. Now, our taxi driver. Creative. Who puts a stack of Quran translations in their car and talks about Islam to every passenger? What did this taxi driver realize that you and I didn't realize? Number one, he realized it's a duty on him. He is an ambassador for the deen. He's not just a taxi driver. Number two, he realized every passenger is an opportunity for kindness, for good character, and for da'wah. Number three, he was not looking for a conversion. This is our mistake. Because we watch street da'wah videos, we want, within 3 minutes, somebody should say, Ashhadu. No, you're not Dr. Zakir Naik, please. Neither am I. I'm not, and neither are you. Otherwise, we would be in a different place. Okay. This speech, shahada thing, it doesn't work. It doesn't happen for normal people. The job that we have is to just plant the seed and leave the rest to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah will water the seed of guidance and Allah will show them the way. And if they are sincere, they will find the way. In the Quran, there are so many examples of non-prophets, not prophets, regular people who gave da'wah. Who can give me some example? Luqman alayhi salam. I want you to give me an example of somebody in the Quran who gave da'wah for a few minutes and was killed straight away. Regular people. They were killed straight away. Small group of people. The magicians. You see, magicians are criminals. Their job is to make black look white and white look black. They were hired by Fir'aun to defeat the Prophet Musa alayhi salam. But the moment they saw the truth, فَأُلْقِيَ السَّحَرَةُ سَاجِدِينَ, they just fell into sujood. قَالُوا آمَنَّا بِرَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ, we believe in Allah, Lord of the worlds. رَبِّ مُوسَى وَهَارُونَ, the Lord of Moses and Aaron. Fir'aun immediately, this is bad PR for him, he immediately quips back. قال آمنتم له قبل أن آذن لكم. How could you believe in him? I didn't give you permission. And then Fir'aun threatens them. لأقطعن أيديكم وأرجلكم من خلاف. I will chop your arms and legs off from behind. ثُمَّ لَأُصَلِّبَنَّكُمْ أَجْمَعِينَ, and then I will mass crucify you. This is the test. You see, every day in work, in family, at home, on the street, with your neighbor, these situations will happen where you have to make a tough decision, difficult decision. And one of the greatest forms of da'wah is holding your ground. What do these men say? قَالُوا لَا ضَيْرٍ. We don't care. Kill us if you want. إِنَّا إِلَىٰ رَبِّنَا مُنْقَلِبُونَ. We are going back to Allah. Do it. Welcome, come, do it. Kill us if you wish. We are going back to Allah. I used to work in a marketing agency at one point. And my boss was a non-Muslim British man. And one day there was an account, and he wanted me to manage this account. And it was an account I didn't agree with what would be posted in this marketing account, in this social media account. And I took him aside and I said, listen, I don't agree ethically with what's being done in this account. I'm sorry, I can't work for it. I can't do this job. And I'm very happy to walk away from the job or cut my salary if you wish, but I'm not going to work on this. I thought he's going to get angry with me. I thought he's going to fire me. What did he do instead? He gave me a bonus and he said, I respect you for this. Hold your ground. I used to work in a small startup, a tech company. They were building a bank. One day the CEO decided we are going to introduce riba loans in this bank. The same day I went, I gave my resignation. I can't continue. Why? Because of lending. Interest-based lending. I will not work here while you're doing that. I didn't get any bonus. I left the company. But I had to stand my ground. You have to stand your ground. Because that is the loudest voice. Silence sometimes speaks the loudest. And there are much better examples than me and much more people out there who have to hold their ground. There is an animal in the Quran that reminded a prophet. An everyday animal that played the role of giving da'wah to a prophet. Which animal is that? Yes? The ant. The ant, the smallest, most insignificant insect you can imagine. The ant gave da'wah. Are you telling me that you and me cannot give da'wah in the same way? The Prophet Sulaiman alayhi salam with his ginormous army is riding. And a small colony of ants sees the dust and the horses coming. قالت نملة يا أيها النمل ادخلوا مساكنكم. An ant says to the other ants, guys, go into your houses. لا يحطمنكم سليمان وجنوده وهم لا يشعرون. Don't let Sulaiman and his army trample on you and you don't realize. This ant gave a reminder to Sulaiman. Because he realized that with great power comes great responsibility and consequences. Because I have a huge army, I cannot be one who destroys the ants. فَتَبَسَّمَ ضَاحِكًا مِّن قَوْلِهَا. Sulaiman alayhi salam laughs. وقال رب أوزعني أن أشكر نعمتك التي أنعمت علي. He says, oh Allah, make me grateful for your blessings. The ant reminded the Prophet about gratitude. The ant. And this is the skeleton in the closet, is that for most of us we have to realize most da'wah needs to be given to Muslims. The people most struggling are the people around us in our sphere of influence. We all have cousins and relatives and friends that don't pray salah, or that have a chain smoking addiction, or that have a porno addiction, or that have an issue with gambling. We know people in our personal lives. Who has a bigger right than you, right on you? John from 3 streets away, or your own sister or your own cousin who's not praying salah? The closest people to you have the biggest responsibility on you. With the people closest to you, there is a really important trait and a really important skill and art one has to master. It starts with noon. It's not nasi lemak, something else. It's the art of, it's an Arabic word with noon. Nasiha. How to give advice. Here's how not to give advice. Maryam, isn't it Dhuhr time? I don't see you praying salah. Is TikTok going to help you avoid Jahannam? Maryam is going to look at you and Maryam is going to never speak to you again. Nasiha. The Prophet ﷺ says, Ad-Dinun Nasiha. This religion is based on sincere advice. Don't give nasiha if you haven't built a relationship with somebody. Build the relationship. Take them for food. Spend time with them. Let them talk about their interests. Then one day when it's salah time, Maryam, I'm going to go pray. Do you want to come with me? You don't want to come with me? It's okay. I'm going to go and pray. Gentleness. Be gentle with people because people are fragile. The hearts of people are fragile. And the Prophet ﷺ learned this and he modeled it and he embodied it the best. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَبِمَا رَحْمَةٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ لِنْتَ لَهُمْ. By the mercy of Allah, O Muhammad, you are soft with people. وَلَوْ كُنْتَ فَظًّا غَلِيظَ الْقَلْبِ لَنْفَضُّوا مِنْ حَوْلِكَ. If you were harsh and hard-hearted, they would run away from you. Be gentle with people in your nasiha. Advise them privately, not publicly. Advise them gently, not harshly. Try to avoid advising them and model the behavior. Maybe you will inspire them rather than advising them. Be an inspiration for the people around you is the greatest form of da'wah. In the last 10 minutes or so, I want to shift the final 10 minutes. We talked about everyday da'wah. We talked about Yusuf, taxi driver, and traders from Yemen. And we said that it's a duty of every one of us to build character, to build reputation, to give hospitality, to give makan, and then to do 1 minute of salt, sambal, 1 minute of da'wah. And that this is the recipe of the prophets and the recipe of regular people. And we said that if an ant can give da'wah to a prophet, and a taxi driver can give da'wah to me, then you can do it to anybody. The day we live in, the day and age we live in, is an age of rapidly developing technology. From social media, to augmented reality, to artificial intelligence. What role do these new technologies play in spreading and modeling and sharing the message of Islam? The first asal, the first principle that I want to give all of you, and one I firmly believe is from the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Anything beneficial a human being can develop, if it can be used for Allah's sake, use it for Allah's sake. All of these modern and contemporary technologies, we should be the first people developing them and the first people using them for the sake of Allah. I'm going to curse the algorithm later, but first let me just praise the algorithm. We should be the ones publishing papers, publishing patents, developing software, developing applications, etc., etc., etc. A few days ago, I went to the Iron Mosque in Putrajaya. And in the Iron Mosque in Putrajaya, at the back of the Iron Mosque, you will see 2 big chairs with goggles. It's a virtual reality experience that teaches non-Muslims and Muslims about the stories of the prophets, of a 6-dimensional experience. That's what they say. My children went on it and they absolutely loved it. Because it's something new. It's something immersive. It's taking them up and down to Masjid al-Aqsa and to the heavens and simulating the whole experience. Before they had to use their imagination and read it from a scrappy textbook. Now they can see it with their eyes. We must leverage these technologies. We must invest in these technologies, but we must be the developers of the algorithms. Today we have the karitha, the challenge and the difficulty of the content creator and the influencer. What are some guidelines that people who are doing da'wah online, what are some guidelines that they have to observe? The first and the most important principle is this: the algorithm will expose who you are. Many people here might have Instagram pages or TikTok pages or a YouTube channel, and they might be doing some da'wah. The first thing is that if you haven't called John from 2 streets away, close the YouTube channel and do that first. The highest priority is being an influence on the people in our sphere of influence in everyday life. You will not be asked about the people online. But if you've been given skills in multimedia, in design, in animation, in video making, etc., and you're eloquent and you can speak, etc., and you want to create videos or you want to create some content, the first thing is see if you can create the content without your face being there. But the second is, if your face has to be there, you better know one thing, and you know it for sure. The algorithm doesn't change you. It exposes the diseases of your heart. What kind of content do you see in the top of the news feed? Do you see videos of birds chirping in nature? What kind of content do you see in the news feed? It starts with D. The most drama. The algorithm, the YouTube, Facebook, Instagram algorithm, does not like simple things. It likes drama, debates, divorces, tabloids. And so as you start to create content, slowly you start to see your content changing. Most people who create content online go to their first video and go to their last video and see the difference. The first video was some comedy video about praying Taraweeh, and then Arab jokes about praying Taraweeh. 4 years later, this person is wearing underwear on the beach and taking a video of themselves uncovering their aura. What happened? The algorithm didn't change them. It exposed their underlying spiritual diseases. The algorithm forces you to look at the numbers, the likes, the shares, the counts, and you can come to a point where you're obsessed with the numbers. Protect yourself from the algorithm by setting a plan, a strategy, having a team, having advisors, having people who will keep you grounded. Otherwise, you'll lose yourself in the world of the online influencer. Number one. Number two, anybody who is trying to create content online, if you don't have a teacher or you're not studying at the institution, you are setting yourself up for destruction, self-destruction. I know people with hundreds of thousands of followers. 24/7, their job is to take videos of themselves speaking to the camera, and they call it da'wah. And they say, the Prophet ﷺ said, I must share even one ayah. But this person, just give them a matter of time, they'll fall into a scandal. Or they will make a mistake. Or they'll make a video where something problematic is shared. Why? There's no checks and balances. You need governance, guardrails, mentors, teachers to keep you grounded. Number three. So I said, number one, we should be at the forefront, Muslims should be at the forefront of developing technology and leveraging it for the sake of Allah. Number two, I said, beware of the algorithm, because the algorithm will expose you. Number three, I said content creators and influencers need to be enrolled in a study program where they are studying Islam with teachers and mentors. They need checks and balances to protect them from themselves. Otherwise, the algorithm and social media will be their downfall. It will not be a means of da'wah. And number five, prioritize face-to-face da'wah in your day-to-day lives over creating some videos online. A few weeks ago, I was just walking around near my house and I bumped into a young man. He said to me, I watch your videos and I love your da'wah and I'm so a big fan, blah, blah, blah. I said, okay, mashallah, good. What do you do? He said, I quit university and I sit in my room making videos on Instagram every day. I don't meet people, I don't speak to people, I just sit in the corner of my room every day. This is the content creator of today. They have a ring light in their room and some tripod and camera, and all they do is they create content in the corner of their room while their neighbor is worshipping an idol next door. Literally, this person is a Hindu neighbor worshipping an idol, and in his room he's just creating videos online. I said, Habibi, what about your neighbor? Yeah, later. Al-aqrabu fal-aqrab. The Prophet ﷺ teaches us that the duty of da'wah starts with those closest to you. Which is why the first 3 years of his da'wah career was the people closest to him, private and secret da'wah. The urge and the encouragement to leverage developing technologies comes with a big disclaimer. Be careful and be wary and have checks and balances. Because these technologies, they are not value neutral. The algorithm will change you. The algorithm can destroy you. Be careful. And with this, we come to the end of this talk. Jazakumullahu khairan, everybody. And I'm going to ask 10 people to share one thing that they learned before we stop. I want to see hands. 10 things you learned other than the importance of makan. 10 things that you learned. Bismillah. Yes, sister. Sorry? Can someone give a sister a mic, please? I cannot hear her. Yes, go ahead, sister.
Hello.
It's
Assalamualaikum, Ustadh.
Welcome, salam.
I need to have a good character.
You need to model da'wah with your character. Very good. Sister, I think there's someone there on the right. On your right, sister. There. Okay, khalas, I'll leave you to choose. Yes, young man. Any small thing can be a form of da'wah. Yes, brother. Time management. I didn't speak about that. Maybe Sheikh Sajid spoke about that. I'm joking. Yes. Oh.
Don't go to dawah straight away.
Don't go to da'wah straight away. Avoid speaking until absolutely necessary. Somebody else, little gentleman. This brother here had his hand up, brother.
Assalamualaikum.
Yes, welcome. Salam. I don't know where's the mic.
Don't preach, plant the seeds, and Allah will water it.
Just plant the seeds. Don't preach, plant the seeds, and Allah will water it. Yes?
Brother, I think the most important thing here is to build trust and credibility, and to always hold on to your values and hold on to your ground. That's the most important thing.
Beautiful. Build trust and credibility and hold on to your values. Yes, young man. Use your Egyptian voice. Abdul Basit. Bismillah. It's okay. He's got it. Go on. Uh-huh. Invite non-Muslims to your house and give them tea. Teh tarik or masala chai? There's a right answer, there's a wrong answer. Huh? No. He said teh tarik, cancel. Masala chai. Yes, sister, go ahead.
Provide the best service and quality.
Provide the best services and quality services. Yes, there's a brother here. Oh, sorry, sister, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Prioritize da'wah to your closest family.
Prioritize da'wah to your closest family. Very good. Yes, there's a brother here.
Having ihsan in everything we do.
Have ihsan everything you do. Pass the brother next to you. Yes.
If you don't have a scholar above you or in a proper Islamic institution, don't think about creating content online.
Yes, do not create content online unless you have mentorship. And this young brother himself, mashallah, is doing some good online da'wah himself. And may Allah protect him and keep him grounded. Yes, brother, you choose. I don't want to create enemies. Yes?
Bismillah.
Bismillah.
Be the ambassador of Allah. Take all the opportunities you can to spread the da'wah.
Take all opportunities. You know what they say? You miss every shot you didn't take. Go on.
Assalamualaikum.
Where is she there? Okay. Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Our job is just to plant the seed and Allah will take care of the rest.
MashaAllah. Said like a true durian farmer. Very good. Our job is to plant the seed and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will create the durian. Very good. Yes.
Assalamualaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Give 1 minute dawah like the ratio of sambal to nasi lemak.
Very good. Yes. The ratio of da'wah. Khalas? Okay. I think we're done, brothers. Khalas. Jazakumullah khair, everybody. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
تاريخنا فخر لنا فانثر لنا تلك الدرر وبنوا حضارتنا التي فاقت وأبهرت البشر من عالم متبحر ومفكر ومن ابتكر تلك المفاخر إنها سير ستلهمك العبر عظما